of Crusader Kings. I just decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to try this live stream, make sure it's working, everything's going okay, get it down. This is completely unscheduled, so don't feel like you have missed anything by any means. See, checking the stream, looks good, looks good. All right. We are going to do a Let's Play of Crusader Kings III, and we're going to do it with the Petty King Murshad, which we did the basic tutorial. Now, that basic tutorial, as I went through it, the more I realized, this is the kind of game you really need to be playing to explain. Now, I did cover a lot of stuff in that tutorial, and if you want to learn how to play the game, I think it's a good place to start. But I think this Let's Play will be very helpful as well. And I'm going to try to cover all of those things, but in a more play type manner. Makes sense. It's a let's play, right? So let's click on the Petty King. Now, if we look over here, by the way, my head will be down here to the right. His head will be down here to the left. So we will be facing off, but we're all rowing in the same direction, I hope, because we want to make the Petty King and his family the most renowned family in the world. And that's going to be our goal. First of all, we're going to try to become the King of Ireland, then the Emperor of Britannia. And I say, you know, this petty king, our petty king, will not be that person. He may become the King of Ireland, but it will be our heirs that hopefully eventually rule Britannia and then move into Europe and start taking over titles there. We're going to be trying to marry people off. I'm going to try to really optimize our family as much as possible and show you how to do that and make sure that our family is as good and as renowned as it can be. So the Petty King Murshad, if you didn't join me for the basic tutorials, he is the tutorial character for Paradox that Paradox set up. Um, he's a rags to riches story as one of the suggested characters, meaning he's got a chance to build from not much. Now, that's relatively speaking, of course. He already has a duchy, but to build up from not being a very renowned family into becoming something much more. His forefathers were the kings of Ireland, or at least his grandfather was. His grandfather was the king of Ireland. That title got lost along the way, and we're going to try to get it back. First of all, get a little, family revenge in there. And so we're going to try to do that with him. Now we're starting in the year 1066. As I said in the tutorial, you have two decisions to make here. You do not have to play the characters they suggest, but you do have to pick whether you're going to do 867 or 1066. The next Let's Play, I'll probably play a Viking back in 867. That's always fun. It's a little bit different because you have to research some of the technologies that we already have in order to even form duchies or to have de jure claims, which we'll go into all that. Now, my idea of the format of this is that we are going to let time run. I'm going to have it on slow or maybe even very slow as the setting, so either 1 bar or 2 bars, but I'm not going to pause. We're going to have to kind of play this as a quasi real-time strategy, right? It's not quite that way. You have time to make decisions. But in this first episode, I'm going to go for an hour. However long that is in game time, we'll see. Because before I hit play, I'm going to get everything set up that I think is ideal to play the Petty King. So he's our guy. Let's hit start and let's get onto the map. Now, he starts out as the head of the Irish culture, which is very helpful because we can really decide what the Irish are going to focus upon. And so that's one thing we're going to deal with. There are a lot of things we're going to deal with before we hit play, right? We've got our major decisions and we need to make a lifestyle choice, but let's actually click on him first and just make sure These stats roll out as we expect them to. Now, he is always a 517 875. Now, other characters will get some randomization, but for a major character like this, you're pretty much always going to get those same stats. I think for him, it's always the same. He's temperate, he's wrathful, he's impatient. The temperate helps with stewardship, which is good because he's not a very good steward, right? He's an 8. His wrathfulness helps with martial, and as we know about the Petty King from our basic tutorial, he is a warrior. That's what he does well, and with him, that's what we're going to focus on. Um, we don't really have a choice. We could try to build up some of the other things, but really they're just not good enough. I mean, he's a 5, 17, 8, 7, and 5. Again, if you're not familiar with the game, this is kind of a 1 to 20. It's like a 20 die roll kind of thing, like Dungeons and Dragons when you create your character. This is not, 20 is not a hard cap to the top side. So with bonuses and other things, you can definitely go above 20. But if you think about our situation, having a martial lifestyle, not the worst thing in the world because we've got a small island. A lot of this is going to be warfare early on. Later on, our wits are going to come into play when we try to hop over to potentially Wales, potentially Scotland, and then eventually into England. That is when our wits are going to come into play more. For Ireland, it's going to be a lot of blood and a lot of iron. So we're going to play some war and we're going to build out his war skills. Uh, he's already got good war skills just up front. He's a skilled tactician, which gives him +6 martial. He's an organizer. Now, when I was playing him in the basic tutorial, I believe his commander trait had to do with fighting on the plains. He was good at that. Here we are, good move speed. It lessens your retreat losses. Okay, we can work with that very well. And so let's go pick his lifestyle. We're going to pick Marshall. We've already got several of these perks. Again, he is made for this. Now, what are we going to do with strategy? Well, I don't plan on using Dread, really. If you do plan on using Dread, go for this authority focus. That'll help there. We could go for Chivalry. I'm not too worried about his prowess. I don't plan to have him fighting himself. Now, of course, it also protects you when you're acting as a commander, that he might not get hurt or captured or killed. Uh, it is what it is. He's going to be our commander in the field. We do not have a big enough kingdom to have other people lead our armies. So as would be historically accurate and as how we would play, he's going to be our commander in the field. So we're going to pick the strategy focus right off the top. Marshall +3. Of course, the experience is what it is. We get a bonus because this is what he is particularly suited for. So we've got that +3. That bumps us to a 20. All right. So we've got our lifestyle picked. It's going to be a martial lifestyle with a strategy focus. Now then, let's go pick our cultural fascination. Now, you have a couple of things here. We start behind as the Irish culture in some respects. We haven't researched as much as people down on continental Europe or over in England have. And you really, I feel like, have just a couple of choices here that make sense. Hereditary rule, which will give us a better succession law. It also gives us some prestige, and we are going to be spending a lot of prestige as a warrior. When you're a warrior, you have to spend the prestige to get casus belli. You have to do it, to build certain things that go along with the martial lifestyle. And so getting more prestige is always good. This is a very strong one, hereditary rule. Um, Otherwise, if we didn't have this as our fascination, it would be 391 years. So it'd be quite some time before we would get this. Um, and you see, the rest of the stats here. Let's go over here and talk about the partition law. It will pop up vassal opinion, player heir opinion, eligible child opinion. Okay, it's going to make people that benefit from it like us a little bit more. That's fine. Well, that's just partition. But this law or this hereditary rule itself um, talks about evenly dividing. Instead of tearing our realm asunder on every secession, we can ensure we have a stable and prosperous heartland. And that's why you always want to try to get your hereditary rule as much as you can to a single heir. Okay, we've already got bailiffs, which is good. This gives us a +1 in the domain limit. Chronicle writing, um, what does this do? Causes belli goes down by a -10. Okay. Development for coinage. All right. Communal government. Um, yeah, I mean, this could help for our development. We are very underdeveloped as the Irish, so, you know, take that as you will. Uh, Royal prerogative. This is the other one that I really kind of like for us because we want to try to get our crown authority as high as we can, as fast as we can. So I always like this when you're starting off at a smaller, you know, area. So we're a duchy, so we do not have that strong inbuilt royal prerogative that other places do across the map. Now we could also do what arch saddle. This will help our men at arms. Horseshoe movement speeds +10. Okay, battlements, men at arms maintenance. Eh, that's not too bad. Um, Actually, not bad at all. That might be a second one that we pick. What I'm going to pick is royal prerogative. I'm going to try to get our crown authority as high as I can so that when we do take over Ireland, I like to speak, with a lot of confidence. When we do take over Ireland, we can put a very strong um, royal prerogative or a crown authority on this. Speaking of crown authority, that's something we'll go over here and fix immediately, which is we'll bump that to 2. It's going to cost us some prestige. Well worth it. Well worth it. Um, you can see here we pop up 5% of levies, 2% of income. We're going to pass that law immediately. So that's good. We'll look at our vassals. We have Earl Ragnald. He's fine. Um, he's actually a Viking. So he starts off not of our culture, which is kind of odd, right? He's our main vassal right now. Of course, we have the mayor down here in Innis, Mayor Finsnecta. Um, but our main vassal is Earl Ragnald, and he is not of our culture. He's Catholic, he's Norwegian. So he shares neither our faith nor our culture. Just having played this before, spoiler alert, he will convert Irish at least for his culture pretty quickly, but that's something we need to keep an eye on. He does not like us right now at the start. -16, okay. It's something we're going to have to deal with. Let's look at insular Christianity. We know from, you would know if you watch the basic tutorial, kind of what the major tenets are here. It's a pastoral isolation, which is a little bit different. It's a little bit different than Catholicism. Some of these things are similar, right? Our sins are going to be lustful, gluttonous, greedy, sadistic, and vengeful. Those sound like sins to me, so they might not be too hard to keep track of. Uh, Chaste is a virtue. We never like that because we like our women having more children rather than less, right? Temperate. which we are, so that helps us. Generous, compassionate, and forgiving. We are male dominated, so that'll be something to keep in mind when we start marrying people and whatnot. And also, just for other aspects of the game, we'll have to keep in mind that we're male dominated. The most interesting thing about our faith is that we are polygamous. Now, this causes a weird setup at the start because there are a lot of women that are very attractive spouses for us, but that are Catholic. And they are not going to like when we add a second, third, or fourth wife, as you might imagine. They are not big fans of that. So we have to keep that in mind. Nothing else really to note here at the time at this time. We're going to click off this. So we've changed our crown authority. We've got our martial lifestyle. We've picked our fascination. Okay, so those are kind of the three things you'll always do right at the start, I feel like. We need to look at our council and make sure that everybody is what they should be. Hey, our bishop likes us right off the top. That does not often happen over here. Bishop Gloonlarn, okay, he is a dwarf. He does look a little smaller. He's got a hell of a barber. I'll give him that. He's a dwarf. Okay. He's astute intellectual. Well, that's good. Although, I'd really like his learning to be better than 15. It is what it is. He's arbitrary. He is temperate as well, which will make him like us better. And that is the sole reason that he's actually green and positive, liking us. Good. Nice. He is deceitful. Okay. Interesting. So he's lowborn. I don't like that he's only +4. What's this? Oh, bishopric, sorry. I don't like, hmm. He's only +4, so we may end up swaying him anyway, although I may do a sway on Earl Ragnald right off the top because I don't want him to drift ever further from us. Well, while we got the council up, let's see. We've got 15 knowledge. He's going to be our knowledge counselor. So that is what it is. I do think I will. Hmm. I do think I'll run a sway on him. I don't want him to go negative, and I don't know what's going to pop up right at the start. So we're going to start the scheme on him. The scheme, it can be positive. I said that a lot in the tutorial. It can be positive. We're going to start that on him. Let's see. Earl Ragnald is actually pretty good at diplomacy. All right. So this is quite a bit different than the tutorial. He was actually not very good, I don't think, last time. Um, so that's fine. We're going to have him doing. Should we have him do? Huh, interesting. You look direct vassal opinion plus zero point 0.0. Well, yeah, I mean he's our only direct vassal. So he's not going to be changing his opinion of himself, of us to himself. That would seem a little odd. All right, we'll keep that foreign affairs. Now, who is this? This is our steward. Who is this person? Uh, I'm not a big fan of 11 on that. That's for sure. Let's see who's got a decent steward skill. Who's this guy? Sinchan? We could recruit him to our court. Where's he from? Who is this guy? He's visiting. Interesting. He's Irish. He's got indulgent wastrel. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Let's go click on our current steward here. He is just our steward. He's part of our court. Who was his grandparent? Was the Earl of Oriel. Interesting. Well, he doesn't have any claims, so that doesn't really help us at all. Hmm. I would like to change out this steward. Surely, well, I'd like to think we could find somebody better than a 12, but we can't, evidently. So he's going to be stuck there for a while. We need to remember that. Our nephew is a 10. Question whether we should just go ahead and have our nephew. He's a flamboyant trickster. Wow, okay. Hmm. He's part of our house. Well, for now, we're going to leave that as is. We will have him collecting taxes right at the start. We need to build up our money. We just don't have much money at the start. This is Darmot MacTurtlebach. Now, I thought he was, well, I guess he's not related to us. Okay, he's decent. He's a 13. Holy warrior. He's really into our insular Christianity faith. Um, he's a tough soldier. Okay, this is all good. This is fine. Zealous, impatient. Okay, fine. Organized levies, train commanders. We don't need that because we're going to be our own commander. And then finally, we have Mayor Finsnecta. We want him disrupting schemes from the start. We don't really, we don't need him running schemes for us at this point. They're just, the schemes are not that important. Sorry if my head's over Mayor Finsnecta. He is an 11 in intrigue. We don't have great counselors. We're going to try to rectify that, but we're also going to try to find a very good spouse. And let's do that now. So, actually, let's not do it from there. Let's do it from here. Let's find a spouse. Um, hmm. Well, now see these ladies are always problems because your potential alliance is the Duchy of Normandy. That's William the Bastard. Okay, so let's go down here to Normandy. Um, and on realms. If you go down here to Normandy, that is William the Conqueror, William the Bastard, if you will, and he is going to immediately take over England. And so you don't want to get called into this war. Here's the Duchy of Normandy, and there's William II, the Bastard of Normandy. He is going to immediately jump the English Channel and get into a war in England. Well, the last thing you want to do right at the start of the game is get called into a war. And so these women are problematic because he is going to call you in as an ally, and you're kind of like, I mean, you're talking about two massive entities fighting each other. You don't want any part of that. Now, these are interesting, these ladies down here, because Gwynedd is right across the way here in Wales. And having this, they're on the same level as we are. This is a duchy rank. Having them as an ally could prove very useful in the future. Maybe not right at the start, but in the future. But they are Catholic. And so let's go see. Sorry, we'll do this one more time. Find spouse, and let's sort by sum of skills. See if we have anyone very skilled. This is Viltrude, but she's Saxon. It's going to be Catholic. You may say, "Oh, what have you looked at this already and you know they're Catholic?" Everyone's Catholic unless they're of the Irish culture, essentially. Anyone that you're going to see here is going to be Catholic. Now we have Gugone. I have married her before in a quick playthrough of this because she's comely, she's robust, and you start really building up your inheritable traits. So she's interesting. We have an intelligent here with Helga. Let's go see if we have anyone. Sorry, let's move this over. Let's see if we have anyone Irish that's not going to be peeved when we go marry someone else. Now, this woman, Caitlin, it's not terrible. We can look for someone that has like one good skill to help us out. Um, Trusting, cynical, humble. She's lowborn. Content, sadistic, and greedy. Okay. Um, Comely here for my error. She also is good at learning. So we do have an inheritable trait that's good there. She might actually make. Now the problem also is no Catholic woman is going to want to become your second, third, or fourth spouse, and so we run into that problem as well. We have a claim here, or a potential alliance, Earldom of Ulster. Now that's interesting. If we look at the map up here, Ulster's here on the north end, that may come into play, right? Because we're immediately going to make a play for Desmond, and then consolidating all of these counties shouldn't be that difficult once we have Desmond. I mean, we just get bigger than them, we have more men, we have more levies, right? Connacht is a little bit of a tougher nut to crack, uh, but once you consolidate, having Ulster as a potential alliance could could be attractive. Could be attractive for sure. Um, all right, we still have our Irish ladies here, so that's Ulster. Melancholic. Oh no, she had depression back in the day. Spindly. Yeah, I'm not looking for that. Now we have another comely here, and she has pretty good steward and pretty good. I may go for an all Irish thing here because I want to get four wives and I want to have a lot of children. Um, so I think we're going to go for all Irish marriages, and I'm not going to really worry about um, alliances. I'll do that with Brian. And Brian is our son. If you didn't watch the tutorial, Brian is our son, and I just always think it's funny that his name's Brian, as it reminds me of Life of Brian, right? The Monty Python. Um, so we're going to go with my error here, I think. It costs us nothing. She gets 600 prestige. Okay. She's just barely going to accept. Good lord. Oh, she does have a liege. Well, who is this guy? Sorry. Oh, the Earldom of Oriel. Okay. Let's go look at Oriel for a second and see what that's about. Oriel is here. Here he is. He's got a claim on a lock. So who is this? She's just a member of his court. Well, okay. He's gonna say yes, so fine. Let's do it. She's got some decent skills. We may put her just on intrigue, which would help us from being killed. We could also do stewardship, but hopefully she'll start making our children beautiful since she has comely. We're going to send that proposal. Let's do it. Um, Now let's look over here. We have too few spouses. We've got to wait till we get married or for him to agree at first. And then once he does, we'll go back and just start. We'll marry like three other Irish women that have some decent skills or decent inheritable traits. We'll go do that right away. We have two wars we can declare. Of course, we can go down here to Desmond, and then Earl Ayed up here of Ilek. We have someone in our court that has a claim. He's our courtier. He has a claim on this. What is his? Gains the contested. He would get this title, but that's fine. It's an earldom, so he would become our vassal. Well, he's a good guy to have around at court. It's going to cost us some prestige, but these are the kind of people you want in your court, really. And we're going to go look for others. Don't worry, because family members can get married. One of those people is Brian, and we need to find a good spouse for Brian. Let's find, just for the fun of it, let's go look. Let's look at alliance power. That's Ulster. That's Ulster. Okay. And they're Irish. So that's kind of nice. Hmm. Interesting. She's brave, callous, and greedy. Okay. Um, interesting. I like the fact that we have actually some decent Irish choices. I feel like sometimes you just have no decent choices, Irish. We will take off Irish right now and just see who the game says our best potential alliances are. You know, these are the Normans again. I don't think we want any part of that. Most of these women are underage, so it would be a betrothal that's planned, which is okay. I mean, Brian doesn't have to have a wife right now, although I think that we would like him to have a wife. Let's do sum of skills. Um, it's always this Gwagone. She always pops up. Let's marry Brian to her if we can. We'll accept. Brian actually gives up 200 prestige. Let's go look at her again. Who, she doesn't have a liege because she's lowborn. She's a fortune builder, comely and robust. Well, you can't beat that. And look at her stats. She's going to really help Brian out. So him giving up 200 prestige now, I'm just not worried about it. I plan on our guy being alive for quite some time. Now, one thing we could try to do, since she's lowborn, is marry her off to one of our two half brothers. So let's go look at our character again. We didn't really look at the family. We've got Brian. I said our grandfather was the king of Ireland, and there he is. We've got our brothers here. And to try to get those traits in, maybe we should try to marry Gwagone off to one of our brothers. Yep, she would accept, it looks like. Conchobar gets. Wait a minute. What is this lisping? Oh gosh, Conchobar's lisping. Okay, interesting. I did not know that. Hmm. How about Lorcan? Would she accept for Lorcan? Everybody's going to be jealous. They'll be like, why did Lorcan get to marry her? She's very smart. She's got nice inheritable traits. Lorcan would get a negative 300, but I mean, do we really care? Um, I don't think so. Let's get him married off to her. Now, we can't give him multiple marriages. Well, that's fine. Let's get them having some children. Now Conchabar, interesting. I did not know he had that lisp. I don't mean to make this game's so crazy, isn't it? Um, let's figure out who we're going to marry him off to. And maybe do we have let's marry him off to an Irish woman maybe. Or we could do sum of skills or inheritable traits, prestige. Maybe we could get an alliance out of him. Why don't we marry him to one of the Ulster ladies if we can? Duchy of Bohemia? No. Lorraine. Well, this is alliance power. Why don't we sort this by our culture? And maybe uh, we can get an alliance. Yeah, we can get an alliance. Let's see if they'll take that. We'll accept. He gets negative 100. They get plus 400. Now, that's not going to give us a straight up alliance, right? Because um, do they have a claim, though? Let's see who has claims on certain things. Who has a claim on Orsery, for instance? Um, let's get down. Let's get down here into the nitty gritty here. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's just the house. What am I doing? Hold on. I want to find out the claimants on Orsery. Earldom of Orsery. There we go. Duh. Um, got an implicit. Okay, these are all men. fine. What about Lincer? Who's got claims on that outstanding? Okay, doesn't do us a lot of good. How about Athlone? Let's see who's got claims on that. Um, yeah, I mean, none of these people are really helping us. It's interesting. I would like to get that. Are these daughters? Okay, siblings. She's 25. She's not married. Will she marry Conchabar? Maybe. Let's go down here. Conchabar? Yeah, we'll accept. Let's do that. I mean, on the off chance, let's just do that. On the off chance that Conchabar ends up being our character, who knows? Who knows? Maybe let's breed that lisp out of there, though. I feel so awful saying that. You know, it's strange, right? We have our sway going on down here. We've got our council going. Let's go back up here. We have Lorcan getting married. We have Conchbar getting married. Oh, we never found anyone for Brian, did we? But I've been looking all around for people. I want him to get married to an Irish woman as well, because who's Caitlin? Where's she from? She has a liege. Okay. She would definitely marry him. Hmm. Let's do sum of skills for these Irish women out here. Caitlin's got the best sum of skills. I don't think it really, I would like them to get a decent positive trait, but I don't think we're going to find anyone Irish. Let's go to all and just make sure there's not something we want out here. Who's this Inga? She's Franconian. She's got good stats. She's 32 though. She's lowborn. Potential alliance with Ravensburg. And she has a claim on that's out in Germany. Rogaland, that doesn't really help us. Saxon, she's got really good skills. What is she? She's cynical, brave, ambitious. Okay. I don't see any like great skills. I'm intrigued by the intelligent here. She's already 32 though. I don't want him to get in a marriage where all of a sudden he just, has no children. Comely Benoit, physical trait. Um, Interesting. Okay, she's French. Hmm. Well, shoot, if I was going to do that, I should have just had him marry Gugan, right? Instead of having our brother do it. So let's get this back to Irish, because I'm going to want him to have up to 4 wives if he can. Caitlin seems like the best. Let's just do it. He gets negative 200, but so be it. All right. So we've got everybody married. We could declare war down here in Desmond, but I don't think we're going to do that right off the top. We do have too few spouses. Um, don't get me wrong. I mean, our first goal is to go get Desmond, but we need to build up just slightly. Let's look at our military. So we only have 26 gold right now. Levies 327, 6 and 6. Our guy over here has 383. So that's not good. We're going to try to build up some money and we'll do some men at arms when we can. We're going to be just getting a crap ton of messages right off the top, but I think we're about ready to start. Now, I'm going to slow this down to just one as we get going. Now, there are other things to do, of course, um, but I think it's time to just go ahead and play the game a bit. Let things start to develop. as I said, I'm not going to pause the game. We're going to play it at its slowest. So it's going to start at a crawl. I will speed it up as we move on to the game. But for these first few messages, the marriages, whatnot, I want that to go slowly because then we need to also set up for Desmond. And when we get to the end of the episode, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to save the game. I'm not going to touch the game. And when we come back next time, I'll just start it all over again and we won't pause it. So it's almost, you're just playing straight through. It is slow real-time strategy, obviously on one, but I think we should just get going with it. Let's see what happens. And we're off. So we have that sway scheme going on. I do want to build him up. Okay, we did get that alliance with Ulster. I gladly accept with Conchabar. That's wonderful, right? We get Conchabar married. He's got a lisp. He's not the most comely fellow. Um, they're married, and we get this alliance with Ulster. So we get an alliance with somebody on the Irish island. I accept your marriage proposal. Brian and Caitlin will be married. That's fantastic. We want to start building out. Now, another thing we want to do is start finding people in our court that are not married and bring. Um, okay, Gugon is now going to marry Lorcan. That's excellent. We get more, beauty genes in our line. Okay. Well, Mary, our new wife here, is quite fortunate to marry us. She's should be very happy about that. So let's look in our court and start seeing other people that are unmarried. Our aunt, now she's probably not going to have any children, so that doesn't help us a lot, but we could try to find somebody with really good prowess for her to marry. Sort by prowess. Okay. No, I don't want, sorry. Wrong thing. Oh, here we go. Okay. No, I do not want them Irish. That is for sure. And we want to sort this by prowess. Norwegian, who's Halfdan? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Look at this guy. Now that's the kind of guy you want to marry your aunt. Um, he will accept. She's going to lose prestige, but, so be it. Send the proposal, get this guy over into our court. Now, that's the kind of thing you want to do with someone like your aunt. Let's go find, let's see who else is not married here. This is our cousin. Nice. Dude. Oh, I did not make that matrilineal. Shh. No! That was my mistake. It happens. Shoot, you want to make that marriage matrilineal, multra, matrilineal, because then they come to your court. Instead, she's going to his court. That's okay. We'll recover from that. What other women do we have here in our court? Um, Caitlin, she's married. Bevan, she married? No, she's not married. Let's find her a spouse and let's sort by prowess. Gosh, I can't believe I did that. Holy smokes. His prowess is 13. 13. This guy 12, but he's got like a decent skill. Ooh, this guy. Okay, let's do this guy. Jeez, I cannot believe I did that. Boy, does that make me mad. Matrilineal. They'll still accept +3. Nice. Come to our court, my friend. Um, What else is going on out here? I don't know. I've kind of stopped. Oh, it did pause us. That you just don't have a lot of choice when you're playing on this mode anyway. Okay, excellent. When I accept that, it goes on then. We're building up some gold. Let's keep looking in our court and let's try to. This guy has that 12 stewardship. Recruit to court. What's it going to cost us? 10? Does he have any other skills? Does he have prowess? Not really. What is this? Huh. He's got a lot of good stewardship skills. We could maybe have him um, be a guardian to someone at some point. I cannot believe I married off my aunt to. Wait a minute. He did come here. Interesting. Thank goodness I didn't marry that out. Yeah, he does come here. I guess because of the disparity. Because I definitely did not make that matrilineal myself, but he did come to our court. This guy is a badass. Let's go up to military and knights and force him to be one of our knights. I mean, this guy, look out, Half Dan. He's one of our knights now. Excellent. Um, Imchad. Okay, we're gonna go get some more here. Imchad, we definitely want him in there. Okay, let's keep trying to marry people off to people in our court and have more people in our court have babies. Um, so that was our aunt. She's not happy with me right now. Okay, well, what can I do? Oh, you know what? Another thing I'm going to do is we are going to go look for another wife ourselves. Now, she's probably going to have to be Irish, compassionate and ambitious. Do we have anybody with any good inheritable traits? Not really. We could also get another alliance with Ulster, but we do not need that, as you see. We got that for marrying our brother off 11 and 15 for intrigue. This diplomacy, that's fine. Oh, that reminds me, we should go up here to the council. She's assisting ruler now, but she is particularly good at knowledge skills. Eh, hmm. Now we get these added to our stats, right? So let's change this over to, let's see what patronage would make this look like. We only go down in one in Marshall, which is all we care about, and that takes us to a 12 there. I think we should do that. Now, who is this? Okay, we don't lose any prestige. Okay, we're going to, and oh, this is our vassal, Earl Ragnald. Okay, we're going to marry her. He's going to accept. We are also then going to go find, excellent, another wife. Um, she's good at intrigue, so in case she becomes our wife, sure, why not? Loses us nothing. She will accept. Excellent. We also want to go find more wives for Brian. Well, that's right. We cannot do another wife until he is actually our king. Excellent. We have another wife. And while we can, let's go add a fourth and let's do, again, some of all skills. Wow, she's very skilled at a lot of things. She's lowborn, she's trusting, cynical, humble. Okay. She's good at diplomacy. I don't have anybody that's good at stewardship, but so be it. She likes us all right. We lose no prestige, so we will marry her as well. Excellent. Um, we're getting some more gold here. I want to add enough gold to get some men at arms, so when we go attack Desmond, um, we're strong. We're strong and okay, excellent. Let's keep working on our court while we're doing this. We could invite claimants. We don't really need claimants right now. We're going to be fine on that. Once we take Desmond, we can have our bishop go work on either Ossory or Athlone. And so that's going to be fine. That's just not going to be a big deal. Invite knights. Let's do that through marriage to the extent we can. Okay, we've got Conchabar married. Who is Donnell? He's our courtier. Oh, that's this guy I was looking at before. Now, what's his deal? He doesn't have a good prowess. He's club-footed. Okay, I don't want to get those traits started, really. Lorcan, how's Lorcan doing with his new wife? She's not very happy with me. So, okay. A paragon of unyielding asceticism. Bishop has shown how discipline. Okay, great. This is our bishop. He's +5 on us now. Now we are running that sway. Um, our fervor is going to go up 10. Okay, fine. Lorcan's married. Uh, who's this? This is just a courtier. Zealous Blackguard. All right. Let's find him a spouse. He's part of our house. Who's this? Oh, this is that Helga. Wow, she's got great stats. Sure, let's have him marry her. +1. Ooh, we got lucky. He gives up a little bit of prestige, but that's fine. Cool. Well, he should be happy. She's intelligent and she's charismatic. So, nice. Um, get that off there. So now we just keep going down here. You're going to try to marry off all these guys you can. You might as well have as many children come into your house as possible. He's got 300 prestige. We can spend his prestige as much as we want, right? Um, so let's try to find him a spouse that's got some good things going on. And it doesn't really matter, even though we're polygamous, these guys are not going to be polygamous. It's really just you as the ruler. And so, to the extent there's some of that, we could also look for claimants and we can use their claims. So, let's go find claims. Pressed, any claim. Let's try any claim and let's see what we get here. Not much. Not much at all. We're not still on Irish, are we? No. So we've got a claim on Bordeaux. If we were trying to go down into France, maybe. Yeah, so that just doesn't matter at all at this point. Not surprising where we're located on the map. Um, okay. I mean, she's pretty good at stuff. Let's get them having kids. Let's do it. +11. He's got to, spend a little bit. That's fine. Let's go down here to our females again. This is our sister-in-law, our bishop, our wife, our wife. Hey, I got a lot of wives. Bebin. Who's? Oh yeah, she married. Right. Sweet. Getting all these people married up. Munster. Now what's going on? A snake at court. I am heading for my chambers to enjoy some blessed sleep when I hear a faint rustle from a window. Just the wind, I think. Barred up, open up, my beauty. It is I, Aed. I push the shutters open, and lo and behold, a man has climbed up to Petty Queen Bardub's window. It's the Petty King of Connacht! He's sleeping with my wife. What? What betrayal is this? Um, okay, it's not our main wife, and maybe that's why she's upset. But really, I say, what did you just call my wife, you debaucher? Indeed, I do. What in the heck? Oh, well, we can't be having that. We don't want a claimant on the crown. My goodness, what a situation we're in here. So that is going to eventually come back to, have some, we're going to have some issues with that at some point. It's just a matter of time. Um, Not too worried about any of these people really down here. I wanted to marry some of the women off. but I don't have that many really. I have, um, I think everybody's pretty much married now. All the females anyway. Um, yeah, married. There's our bishop. I guess he could have a spouse, so I'm not going to really worry about that. That's our queen. That's our queen. Bevan. I'm surprised no one's pregnant yet. Caitlin. Again, another queen of ours. I mean, we've got enough wives. Somebody should be getting pregnant soon. Unless we're just not performing our kingly duties. Sure. Okay. Well, what can we do? Um, let's make sure. I was making sure that was going. I'm so surprised that we haven't seen a pregnancy notification yet. Now, we could buy some light footmen right now of 45 gold. I don't want to stretch the gold that much. Um, Another thing I want to go look at is our feudal contract down here with Earl Ragnald. Let's see what our feudal contract looks like, and let's see what we can do about that. We need money. That's tyranny. Yeah, he's going to look at any of that as tyranny right now. Not surprising. Let me just make sure. Yeah, we've got our crown authority up here. Yeah, well, there's not a whole lot we can do with him until we get a hook on him. Now, eventually we should go to hook on him, but you know, we're going to be waiting on that. So we've played a whole almost year. When you have it on the slowest setting, I mean, time really goes slowly. So we're going to bump it up one here. We're going to get the next notification, play a little bit more, and then I'm going to call it an episode and we'll say, this was episode number one. We'll say that because it's true. And we're going to keep playing this Let's Play and kind of go through all the different things in the game that we can. I find this a lot of fun playing this way. I'll just bump it up one more time. Now we're really cooking. Look at that. We're going to be all the way into 1068. Yeah, nobody getting pregnant. I have to check and see if we don't have some kind of bad stat up here, but we do not. I really like the fact that we got this alliance for that marriage. That's nice. We now have 31 people at court. They should start having kids. You got an unpressed claim on the earldom of Connacht. Nice. Um, this is good. This is really good. His he is the chancellor of Petty King Ayed, who was sleeping with our third wife. But, oh, there we go. We Our wife is now pregnant, and that's our main spouse, so that's good. But anyway, this is the guy, this debaucher, as we called him, is sleeping with our third wife, evidently. I mean, he's crawling into her window, but his chancellor inadvertently gave us a claim on Connacht, which we are going to need eventually. So let's go look, and sure enough, we now have an unpressed claim on Connacht, which is wonderful. Now, there are raiders, okay? And so, especially up here in Ireland, but I guess the same goes over here. You'll have Viking raiders. We have, the Northmen. I think they're coming out of Iceland. Oh, and another one of our queens are now pregnant. Excellent. So she's pregnant. Um, I can't remember. One of these three is pregnant. So we are going to start having some heirs, and that's fantastic. Our bishop's not swayed. Well, luckily enough, he's +7 on us, which, as I said many times, that is not the case. with your bishop early on. Um, we're still trying. We're going to try again. I would like to bump that up, and then I would like to go down and get him to like us. Oh, now all three of our wives are pregnant at the same time. So things really heated up in the bedroom over the last few months as we somehow juggle having four wives. Sure. Um, Recruit men at arms. Okay, we're at this point. We have 80 gold. We are going to be marching. Ah, we had a daughter. Dub Dill. Let's just keep her name Dub Dill. I'm fine with that. I like that name. You may you grow up and be strong and wise, my daughter. Little Dub Dill. What a name. Um, it's given me ideas for real life for a name. Let's see. Oh, yeah, recruit men at arms. Okay, we're going to be marching down here into wetlands, all right? Now, we don't want to necessarily just buy troops that are good in wetlands because we're going to this one county, but our county is also wetlands. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Horsemen are not going to be great for us. Light footmen might be. In jungle, in taiga, okay, that doesn't help as much. Hills, forest, light horsemen are bad everywhere, especially wetlands. Pikemen, nope, doesn't really help us. Armored footmen, we couldn't get them if we wanted to. We don't need siege equipment. So really, light footmen and bowmen, I think, are kind of the way where you want to go here. We're not going to need a ton. Um, we're not going to need a ton to take Desmond. I don't want to downplay it, but we're just not going to need a ton for that. Uh, this is plains. Ormond is plains. We have wetlands, 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 hills, forest, plains. So this becomes plains down here. This here becomes plains. When we do go to ossuary, plains, plains, more wetlands. So I think that we're going to go ahead and just get some light footmen for now. As I said, we don't need a ton. Wait a minute, what just happened there? There we go. We don't need a ton of extra strength. So we're going to go ahead and buy them. We start off at 5 at 100. When it gets to 100, I think that we'll probably head down and try to take Desmond. I think, again, that we should have plenty to do. Well, shoot. It looks like now he's got some men at arms. He does. He has 100 bowmen. Now, how can we offset bowmen? What are bowmen? Bowmen counter skirmishers, which our light footmen are skirmishers. Well played. Um, so horsemen really come after archers. So he's played that well. I may just counter with some bowmen when we get to that point. He still outnumbers us, really. I mean, we're up to 386. This is Earl Ragnald. I told you our vassal, Earl Ragnald, would convert from Norwegian to Irish. So we are going to be happy about that. Oh, we had another daughter. This daughter is named Sinich. This is from our main wife. Sinich Brienne. Do we want to name her Sinich? Sure. I usually just go ahead and go with this. May she grow up strong. Okay. So we have a couple of daughters. We're really, gonna start having. Now you see, we've got the hooks because they are members of our family. We're now also building up more renown as our living members become more. We're up to 17. Hopefully, our brothers start having some children as well. That would be helpful. But on we go. We're now into 1069. We just started 1069. I will speed this up a little bit. We're about to get a martial perk. Cradle. Uh, oh, this reminds me. I can't believe I forgot to. Well, it happens. We need to name a physician. We have not done that. Start the search for a physician, but it's very likely that we will make this um, our bishop. You pay 50. I don't want to pay this guy. Hmm. I'm not going to recruit anyone. I want my bishop to become my court physician, and I should have done that right at the start. Um, Appoint as court physician. This will also make him like us more, so we can run off that sway. I should have done that right at the start, but hey, it happens. I'm glad I can show you some of these things. Let's sway Earl Ragnall. Now, he is already +4. He's come a long ways, but let's keep him really happy. So we're going to do that. Down here is the Irish, I should mention. We will not be developing early in the game. We're eventually going to want to do that, but we just don't have enough gold. We don't have enough we can bring to the table to develop. May you grow strong and wise. Now, what is this? Oh, we have our available perk. And this will be the last thing that I do of this live stream and this episode, but we're going to pick Overseer. The reason being is that it gives us +2 Martial, +2 Stewardship, control growth in each of our counties, +50. It's a really good one. We were set up for that, and we're going to unlock it. Excellent. That's great. And then we can either choose to start Stalwart Leader next time, which would up our prowess, or Bellum Justum. This is the way we will likely go. But with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to hit pause here. I'm going to save the game. And when we come back next time, we will be here in the Earldom of Thomond, the petty kingdom of Munster, and we will probably march on Desmond next time. So thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.